flavors taste so amazing. It's a game changer, running out of patience. Boosting my energy, check out my Sandman, it's good for your health. See my son, I hit up King Cut, tell him gon' get me right, cause I needed some help. Different kind of flavors taste so amazing. It's a game changer, running out of patience. Boosting my energy, check out my Sandman, it's good for your health. See my son, I hit up King Cut, tell him gon' get me right, cause I needed some help. Strawberry, mango, what you wanna do?
Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in. I am joined today by the great Mr. Val Sandman himself. How you doing today, Val?
I'm doing great, doing fantastic. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Most definitely. Look, I saw your last fight. I'm like, okay, yep, I most definitely need to talk with him, you know? So it was in due time. Let's start off with just a little bit about yourself.
So about me, born and raised, grew up in Delaware, Newcastle to be exact. Went to with family members, had family and cousins out Washington D.C., Baltimore, cousins in Jersey, New York, PA. So I kind of like bounced around throughout the whole East Coast.
Wow.
So basically, I knew how New York was, Jersey, and other places, but mainly was in Delaware. And just grew up. My mom, my sisters, my brother, and my cousins and everything. You know, it was like your first friends are your cousins. You know.
Yeah, facts.
So I was with all my cousins, my grandparents, aunts and uncles, and my father. Growing up and knowing him and knowing how he moved around, because he, coming from Jamaican heritage and culture, like, Papa got a lot of us, you know. So it's I got a lot of siblings all around, and just being able just to grow up, still be connected with my culture, still going to Jamaica, being raised with my mother and my mother's side of the family and the father's side of the family, just both of them from Jamaica, and just growing up with a lot of discipline and structure, but also growing up in a harsh environment. Wasn't really like the best, but it's still like my home training, what was taught around me was like the solid roots, Mm-hmm. And parents ain't really, they was pretty much reasonable, but they was not no pushovers, So they was like, look, we gonna give you the leeway like to be yourself, but at the same time you gonna come correct, So
of course
it was always that growing up, but just being in that environment, with just a lot of drugs, gang banging, people feel like they got a point to prove. A lot of people probably didn't have to get into certain things, and
mm-hmm.
you see it all growing up there. You see a lot of people you grew up with from kindergarten, high school, middle school, just not here today, and it's a lot of things back there. So just even when I was younger, growing up, you go to the parks, kids was always fighting, always had fights, and even with your cousins, your siblings, all over, it was everything. So like growing up, I just was like, man, I've been fighting my whole life.
I was like, you came out fighting.
So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna be a fighter. But it wasn't just only that. Since I was 5, like I remember gravitating. I mean, everybody know about Dragon Ball Z. I gravitate to me and all these other shows. Like I was just studying martial arts as a 5-year-old, studying how they punch, trying to do push-ups on my knuckles. I'm like watching Bruce Lee documentaries, and my folks is like, he's like 5'6", but he's studying these people for real, for real. So I already knew I had a passion for it, It was to the point where it's like, wasn't the best thing, because like I'll go to school always getting in fights, and my dad like, why you laughing? So, like, it was just something I did. He's like, I stood up for myself, whether it was win, lose, or draw. It was just the fact that it was fun, and I got a kick out of it. And kids was like, man, you should box or something. Like you love that stuff, and it started from there. But it was just for the love from there, yeah.
What? So how long have you been doing it professionally now?
Professionally, to be honest, actually, 3 going on 4 months now. So it's pretty fresh. But I've been training for like a few years, going to different schools. Like coming up, I have a wrestling background. My dad and all my uncles are like state champion wrestlers and football players.
Jeez.
I was a decent wrestler. And I held my own, so I grew up wrestling and then start learning like kickboxing at like 12.
Wow.
And then my mom got me into judo at 13 because somebody walked up to her and was like, don't your son like martial arts? And I was like, yeah, we can teach him judo. She was like, what's that? She didn't know. She's like, look, you want to learn a martial arts called judo? I'm bringing you there, and you start. And then I just went there and I just start learning it and just start gravitating. And so picking up and doing 3 martial arts at the same time, plus other sports, it was just like, It was fun.
It was inevitable. So you've been doing it 4 months now.
Yeah,
that's
4 months,
wow.
officially pro, yeah.
So how many fights have you done in these last 4 months?
So in these last 4 months, actually, I had one MMA fight, my debut, and I lost to this upcoming kid. He is, you know, Tyler Martin, but he's gonna be known. But I told him I see him down the line, you know, and that was my rival. He got me with a rear naked choke, but my next fight, it was a short notice guy kind of stepped in, and I just took the fight on short week's notice. I can't really remember his name, but as you guys pretty know, it was a quick knockout, and it was just standing up. So
that was the 46 second.
Yes, the 46
second clip. I actually have that video. Let me find that because I want to play it for y'all because that was definitely a wow. Look, where is that video? Here we go. Wow, 46 seconds. I think that has to be a record.
Yeah,
truly.
Yeah. So far, it was at Rise of the Warrior, but I think that's for the record for the past few years. You never had a first round finish that quick, you know. So they got it by the second, third round. But to have somebody go out there and beat a kid that had a hype behind him, people thought was gonna run through me and pull an upset. Yeah, so
you came through with the quickness.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, that's tight. So your next fight.
Next fight is September 3rd. I really don't know who the opponent is. Basically, they try to get a specific person for me, and it was like, look, you don't want to. Me, it don't matter. Any place, any time. I really love doing that, and you just bring it in there. I just love doing that, and I'm using the gift that God gave me. I feel like we all warriors, and we all express our ways being the warrior in life through many different ways, and mine is just actual combat, you know.
Yeah.
So, just September 3rd. I'm about a few weeks out. And I'm pretty much just staying active, just keeping the fights going.
So what is your training like on a day-to-day basis?
So on a day-to-day basis, I get up in the morning. Like I started get up 5:30. We'll run, you know, between 6 to 7 miles. Come back in, do some calisthenics for like at least a half hour, and then get ready. You know, take my CMOS from King's Cup.
Come on, King's
Can't
Cup.
go wrong. And that gives me a lot of energy, like the way that I'm able to still be here, you know, functioning, talking to you, you know. I could probably have a small meal, maybe nothing, but the CMOS really does do benefit, especially for me. Like I'm getting up, running that, and then I'm actually going out and working out in the sun, or just working out with people and just constantly moving. And then I go right to go train and go through hell and training, and then just like, okay, all through again, and then it just helps me out a lot.
Keep going.
Definitely.
Look, all those minerals,
vitamins and minerals, everything you need. And I like, for any athlete, I recommend that you take it. You know, King's Cup, like, not just have something that's great flavors, diversity of flavors that taste good. You got like fruits, vegetables, you know, CMOS, like
quality.
What things can you ask? Nothing that's artificial. A lot of these guys is sponsored by places with sugary drinks, and they wonder why their record isn't too good. But I'm eating something and taking something that's really good for me and does benefit, and why not? Because it comes from the earth.
Oh yeah, that's a blessing. Absolutely. Shouts out to King's Cup.
King's Cup, by the way.
Gotta have your King's Cup. Y'all heard the song at the intro of the video. We'll play that again at the outro. Or maybe we'll play the second one. Stay tuned. So, the CMOS. And then do you use a certain facility or train with a certain trainer?
Yes, my gym that I train out of is Space Coast MMA out there in Rockledge, in Brevard County here in Florida. But Space Coast MMA, shout out to my coach Kaylin, my coach Kevin, my coach Little, RIP. He just passed recently, but that's why we're dedicating this fight for him. And all my teammates, all my coaches and teammates, my management team, Elite Access Sports Management, Dave, my big bro Dave and John, they really been helping me and really been, thank God for them. I feel like God is allowing everything to, or people would say the universe, whatever works for you, but just shaping things in the better for us all. And just mind over matter for us.
It's working in your favor. I love to see it. So next fight will be in Orlando?
Yes, it will be in Orlando. Some of my other fights were like a little further, Tampa and all around, but in Orlando, I figured do it closer. We're trying to have one that's actually closer here in Brevard in downtown Melbourne.
Wow.
So we're trying to kick that off too, so we can get the whole city behind me.
Okay, I know that studio down there, the Ring.
Yeah, definitely.
That'll be tight. A nice local event. Headlining. Come on, in the first year.
Yeah.
Speak that. Okay, so I love to see it. So where can people reach out to Val Sandman?
You can reach out to me on really my Facebook or my Snapchat, really, YG, Mellow Wings, and just basically you just can find me. It's got the Sandman and just Val Fowler, really, because that's really what I really focus on right now. I'm working on definitely gonna have a updated, professional Instagram account and professional Twitter account, and therefore everybody can be able to follow me. And I have footage of my not just only my training, but everything else that I do.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna go from there. I really try to be on the other things because like the distractions, and I feel like from my focus and where I should have it at, I just rather have the energy. But Facebook makes perfect sense, and nothing wrong with Facebook with me. So
absolutely. Look, that's where the people are.
Yeah.
The most people are.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I think that's great for your network, and I definitely wish you much success. You are destined for greatness. You're gonna do amazing things. September 3rd.
Yep, September.
Next fight. I'm gonna be there. I'm definitely gonna be there to check you out, because 46 seconds. Could you please make it last a little longer though? At least maybe a minute 30.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm fighting. Like, that's one thing with me. I'll never underestimate my opponent. So I don't know who I'm fighting. I just know at the end of the night, I'm getting my hand raised. I'm not having nobody. You all coming out there, and I refuse to lose. I'm just not. So
hey, power. Come on. Definitely. Well, thank you for joining me, and y'all make sure y'all go follow him and just check him out, because he's destined for greatness. And we will be back with the next interview. Y'all enjoy your night.
I need it now. 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 Right now. I need it 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 now. Different kind of flavors taste so amazing. I need it now. It's a game changer, running out of patience. I need it now. Boosting my energy, check out my Sandman, that's good for your health. See my son, I hit up King Cut, tell him gon' get me right, cause I needed some help. Different kind of flavors taste so amazing. I need it now. It's a game changer, running out of patience. I need it now. Boosting my energy, check out my Sandman, that's good for your health. See my son, I hit up King Cut, tell him gon' get me right, cause I needed some help. Strawberry, mango, what you wanna do? Different kind of flavors, gel or the juice. Needed by the jar, you could get a chew. Hit up King Cut, wish you had to. Call up the number, we ready to go. We ain't taking too long, bring it right to your steps. Bringing you energy, natural healing, banana and kiwi is good for your health. 92 minerals, 102. You can call up the dot, better double your energy. See my son, go good on your joints. See after a scoop, it go good on your chemistry. Follow the rules and we decent on price. If you look at the guy, you get instant results. Call up King Leo, cause I need it right now. Bounce back, now I feel like a boss. Different kind of flavors taste so amazing. I need it now. It's a game changer, running out of patience. I need it now. Boosting my energy, check out good for your health. See my son, I hit up King Cut, tell him gon' get me right, cause I needed some help.